This man from Harvard says there's a switch in the human body to make a 100-year-old young again. David Sinclair said there's a switch in the human body to make a 100-year-old young again. He says he can create sperm and an egg from human skin cells, fertilize them, and clone a human. He claims to have created mini human brains in his lab that are aged artificially to mimic 80-year-old brains, and they show signs of disease like dementia and Alzheimer's. David Sinclair, a Harvard biologist, said he and his team found a way to reverse aging in the eyes of mice, suggesting it could also happen in humans. In 2022, Sinclair and his team at Harvard Medical School published their findings, in which they believe that epigenetic changes, and not just changes to the DNA, affect aging. They discovered a way to reset the age of a mouse eye using 3 specific genes, SOX2 and KLF4, together named OSK. By reprogramming the eye, they were able to reverse its age by 80%, helping the mice regain their vision. Sinclair believes that this means there might be a way to make older people feel young again, because the information needed to be young is still in the body. David Sinclair mentions that they found a universal reset switch, quote unquote, which means they can apply this technique to other parts of the human body, like skin and muscles. Essentially, they're turning on a program that makes older cells act younger. He believes that one day it might be possible to reset the age of the entire body, and they have already succeeded in mice. And now they're focused on how soon they could do this for humans. On Ed Milet's podcast, David Sinclair talked about a study conducted by Steve Horvath and Greg Fahy during their early months of the pandemic. And in this study, they treated people for a year with a mix of metformin, a bit of growth hormone, and HED, hormone that helps produce testosterone and estrogen, to manage some side effects of growth hormone that could lead to type 2 diabetes. Dr. Greg Fahy, a Californian-based aging researcher, presents a cocktail of compounds that reactivates the thymus, an organ crucial for training immune cells to combat pathogens and rejuvenate the body. They found that after the treatment, the biological clock of the body had reversed by more than 2 years. Dr. Fahy said that participants were biologically younger at the end of the trial than they were at the beginning, and Dr. Fahy adds that there was an age reversal of about 2.5 years over the course of a year-long treatment. Thus, although a year had passed during treatment, the participants were still a year and a half younger than they were when they started the trial, according to Hovarth's aging clock. The study participants were also still 2.5 years younger at the end of the trial than they would have been had they not participated. At first, Sinclair thought that 2 years was not a huge change, but then he realized if this could be done every year, it would be really interesting because it would mean people could literally age in reverse. While he is not sure about achieving immortality, he would be happy with just an extra 10 years of healthy life, or even just 2 years. He emphasizes that they are now at a point where they can control aging in the lab, being able to speed it up or slow it down. The mini-human brains. Sinclair describes how he can take a person's skin cells and reprogram them into pluripotent stem cells, meaning these cells can become any type of cell in the body. He explains that it's biologically possible to create sperm or eggs from a person's skin cells, potentially allowing for cloning, though he clarifies that doing this is illegal and he would not actually perform such an experiment. He mentions the possibility of using these stem cells to create organs. In his lab, they can grow miniature organs, including mini brains from human cells. These mini organs can be used for personalized drug testing and research, allowing scientists to understand how diseases might affect a specific individual's organs and respond to treatments. Sinclair explains how his team grows mini brains in the lab. He said, we've got them from people that are predisposed to Alzheimer's or not. He said, by artificially aging these mini brains to an equivalent of 80 years old within a few months, they induce Alzheimer's and dementia-like symptoms in the lab. Reversing aging in the lab and using a process that activates these embryonic genes, OSK genes, Sinclair's lab is able to reverse the aging process in these mini brains. Remarkably, when they reprogram the brains to a younger state, the Alzheimer's symptoms disappear and the brains regain their electrical activity. The same age reversal techniques have been tested in mice by allowing mice to age or accelerate the aging process and then reversing the age of their brains. The researchers observed that the mice regained their memory and learning abilities, suggesting potential breakthroughs for human applications. And from David Sinclair's Instagram post, he says, looks like we finally have control over the aging process in the human brain, at least in these mini human brains. These cute little fellas called organoids actually have brain waves. They take a few months to grow, coaxed from reprogramming human skin cells. Some of these organoids we grow have a mutation that accelerates Alzheimer's in people, allowing us to study the effect of aging and age reversal in the context of this terrible disease. We are excited about the possibility of reversing the age of the brain to recover the ability to heal, learn, and recall lost memories, he said. What might these mean for humans? Dr. Santosh Kesari, a neurologist at Providence St. John's Healthcare in Santa Monica, California, and regional medical director for the Research Clinic Institute of Providence, Southern California, spoke about mice reverse aging study. He said it helps us understand aging better, especially how we can measure it at the DNA level. He explained that aging is not just about mutations in our DNA which cause age-related disease. Instead, it's more about how the DNA is read as we get older. This affects aging in a big way. The study opens up new ways to think about aging and how to target it with drugs that influence how cells read DNA. Since the study was done on animals, the next step is to figure out how humans age in the real world. Dr. Kesari mentioned that scientists need to find the right tests and ways to track unhealthy aging. He also said that scientists still need to do smart studies to find biomarkers, signals that show we're slowing aging in a good way. The goal is to find out what these markers are and which drugs can be used to test them. And finally, Dr. Kesari emphasizes that we cannot wait decades to study aging. The challenge is to find quick, reliable markers in humans to test drugs and see if they are helping with age-related conditions. And serious allegations. Dr. Brad Stanfield, a primary care physician from Auckland, New Zealand, made a video of the David Sinclair $720 million train wreck, where he discusses the controversies and criticisms surrounding David Sinclair, particularly with the compound resveratrol. And he discusses Sinclair's message, which he finds wrong. Sinclair co-founded Viatris Pharmaceuticals, which was bought by GlaxoSmithKline for $720 million in 2008. However, subsequent research failed to replicate Sinclair's findings, leading to significant skepticism. GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, could not reclaim their investment due to what was perceived as Sinclair's plausible deniability through scientific missteps or errors in his research. Other scientists like Matt Kaeberlein have criticized Sinclair's methods and results, pointing out that many of the lifespan extension effects could not be consistently replicated. This mention of Sinclair's involvement with another company, Elysium Health, selling a product called Basis, which contains nicotinamide riboside, another compound linked to sirtuins and NAD levels, but not resveratrol. Sinclair has been promoting a study suggesting that a proprietary supplement could reverse aging in dogs, leading to public outcry and professional distancing from peers like Matt Kaberlin and Jeffrey Flyer, who have publicly criticized his methods and ethics. Despite initial hype, resveratrol's benefits for longevity in humans remains unproven, with studies showing mixed or negative results, including potential harm like blunting exercise benefits and lowering testosterone. Stanfield critiques Sinclair's pattern of hyping compounds like resveratrol and NMN through scientific publications and media appearances, followed by commercial ventures, which some see as a strategy to profit from the longevity market without solid scientific backing. There's growing concern about the normalization of dishonesty in science, quote unquote, as described by critics like Kaberlin, where scientific claims are made for commercial gain without robust evidence, of course. And this is on Hows and Whys by Vicky Verma. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.